Fiemme. Today we have the press conference, the final press conference of Gian Franco Kasper, president of FIS, and together with Sara Lewis, general secretary, and our president, Piero di Godenz. Gian Franco Kasper.
Buongiorno and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. C'è qualcuno che non parla l'inglese? Allora faremo tutto in inglese, che benissimo. Thank you, so everything will be in English. Thank you for coming so early this morning. It's a pleasure to see you all at the end of really beautiful World Championships here in Val di Fiemme. I would like to take this occasion to thank you, the representatives of the mass media. You have really collaborated in an extraordinary way. You were, as far as I have seen it, extremely objective in your reporting, and this really helps the promotion of our sport worldwide. So thank you to all of you. I would also like to thank on this occasion RAI, the Italian television network. They have shown excellent pictures, which have also promoted, of course, our sport on a worldwide basis. I would be happy to give you some negative points about these World Championships. I tried very much last night to find some, but couldn't find one. Of course, we had some little problems, so the organizing committee had some little problems, but that is part of the game in such a huge event. That happens automatically, but I must really say, and I will say today at the closing ceremony, that our Italian organizers, with Piero leading them, have done an incredible job. It's not so easy to organize World Championships on this level in a valley, a little bit far away of the big cities, particularly in view of the number of spectators. But with their promotion they have done for the World Championships, they have really got beautiful crews that were, how should I say, very enthusiastic, and they have created a very special ambiance in all of our stadiums. Perhaps I should say those thanks rather in Norwegian than in English, but the Norwegian crowd was really something very special. You have seen that up to this morning we have a total of 14 nations that have won medals at these championships. The day is not over, we all know, but 14 different medals. This is an extremely good number, particularly for the International Ski Federation, or if you want, for skiing as such. We are always happy if we have as many nations as possible on the podium, because this, of course, helps the promotion of our sport. Be careful, it's plastic, not glass. Yeah. I have an interesting figure, which might be interesting also for you. It's the number of medals of Norway, the way they have developed in the last years. You know, in 1991, at the first World Championships here in Val di Fiemme, Norway had a total of 10 medals. In 2003, they had 16 medals, and today, up to today, they have, as you all know, 19 medals. I think this is quite an interesting figure to show just on one nation the development of our Nordic World Championships. Just a few other figures. You know that Mari Bjørgen has now 12 world gold medals. Still not the same number as Jelena Welbe. You know probably that Jelena had a total of 14 medals, but as it looks, Marit will be back also at the next World Championships, and this record might be easily broken. We had Peter Northug, has so far, as to this morning, 9 World Gold medals, which equals the number of medals that Björn Daly has made as the previous record. We had Japan winning the first mixed ski jumping team event. This was a premiere for all of us. Switzerland had, for the first time in history, won a gold medal in cross country. That's absolutely new with Dario Colonia. We had the US ladies sprint gold medal and the first US gold in cross country, and also first ever medal in a team event for the United States. with, as you know, bronze in Nordic combined. We had a total of 4 medals for Jason Lamy-Chapuis, the French guy. This is also a historical number, and the first, of course, team event won by France, which puts France, depends how you calculate it, on the second ranking of the medals of this World Championships. I would say nobody would have expected that before our World Championships here. We had, always up to this morning, a total of 55 nations with 701 athletes. We had only back in 2009 59 nations, 4 more nations than here in Italy, but all other World Championships in the last 20 years had less number of nations participating. We had a total of 1,405 accredited media. This is also a very pleasant number, and as I told you, as far as we know, the media did an outstanding job really in reporting about these World Championships, and I thank you once again for this excellent collaboration. We are at the end of these World Championships. We had now 3 actually, World Championships within FIS. We started with snowboard, as you know, in Quebec, Canada. We continued then with alpine skiing in Schladming, and we now are going to finish this afternoon the Nordics here in Val di Fiemme, and we will continue next week with the Freestyle World Championships in FIS in Norway. So it's a long World Championships winter. Sometimes for us it's easier to have the Olympic Games because then you finish all and everything within 3 weeks. But with 4 World Championships, one after the other, the winter is relatively long, and we are sometimes surprised how much media coverage we still get for all of them. So once again, thank you to the organizing committee. Thank you, Piero, to you and your whole crew. All your volunteers that did an outstanding job, I really have to say that. Okay, we were lucky with the weather conditions, let's be honest. We just had one little snowfall, but snow is part of our life and part of our job. So you handled that very easily. Thank you very much, and as I said, I will have an occasion to say that also officially this afternoon. Thank you. Sara?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A short update in regard to the anti-doping testing that was carried out here in Val di Fiemme. In total, up until this morning, there have been more than 480 blood tests for the athlete blood passport carried out just here in Val di Fiemme. The in-competition urine testing, which also includes the EPO analysis, has amounted to 126 tests, and there have been additional urine tests that have been carried out throughout the championships as well. Of course, this afternoon's competitions will also be tested, so in total with the blood and urine testing altogether, we'll be reaching more or less 700 tests from the championships here.
Thank you, Sara. I suggest, Bruno, that we give the floor first to Piero and then we answer questions. No.
Yeah, sorry, I speak my English. It is very, very little down. It is better when I speak in Italian, and Bruno make me the answer. Sono contento, soprattutto per come è andata finora questo campionato del mondo. Speriamo che si concluda anche nel migliore dei modi. Grazie Gian Franco, grazie Sara per le bellissime parole anche nei confronti nostri del comitato e soprattutto di tutti i volontari che sono un po' il cuore e la spina dorsale di questo nostro comitato. Esattamente 10 anni fa, era anche allora il 3 marzo, facevamo la stessa conferenza stampa di chiusura dei campionati del mondo del 2003 e sembra che questi 10 anni, almeno da parte mia, siano volati. Mi sembra ieri che ne abbiamo finito uno, nel frattempo ne abbiamo iniziato un altro e si è creato questo rapporto importante con la FIS che ci permette anche di avere tutti gli anni questa finale del Tour di Sci, questa nuova manifestazione che sta avendo dei grossissimi successi, e posso dire che noi guardiamo avanti anche per i prossimi anni. L'anno prossimo sarà un altro anno sicuramente impegnativo, direi come quest'anno, fra Universiadi, campionati del mondo giovani, Tour de Sci, quindi la prospettiva del nostro comitato, del nostro gruppo è di proseguire in questa collaborazione, direi, in questa promozione dello sci e degli sport invernali. Abbiamo alcuni numeri sicuramente importanti che vorremmo dare oggi di questo campionato del mondo. Abbiamo avuto 8.150 accreditati, 40.000 presenze turistiche nelle strutture alberghiere, di cui però 10.000 in Val di Fiemme, 10.000 in Val di Fassa, 8.000 nelle valli limitrofe e altre 12.000 prenotazioni dirette, gran parte queste in Val di Fiemme. Abbiamo una media di 1.400 articoli monitorati al giorno sulla carta stampata. Il sito web ieri ha avuto 371.000 visite con 247.000 visite uniche. La giornata record è stata il 20 febbraio con 50.000 visite. Facebook ha avuto 122.000 contatti al giorno, mentre Twitter ha una media di 1.600.000 contatti giornalieri con una punta di 2.350.000. YouTube ha avuto sono stati prodotti 64 video da noi, 186.000 minuti guardati, e il video più cliccato e visitato è proprio stato quello dell'inno con 80.000 visite. Il totale degli spettatori, che questo è stato il dato più importante per noi avevamo parlato di 250.000 l'obiettivo nostro, tra i 200 e i 300.000, abbiamo superato i 400.000 spettatori, 350 sui campi gara e 50.000 alle cerimonie di premiazione e cerimonie di apertura. La gara più affollata con più spettatori è stata la staffetta di venerdì, la 4x10 maschile, con oltre 36.000 persone sul campo gara. Siamo felici anche sia per il numero delle nazioni partecipanti, 55, il numero degli atleti, 701, e anche per le persone illustri che sono venuti a trovarci, ministri, il ministro polacco, il primo ministro norvegese, due ministri austriaci, il re di Svezia, gran parte del Consiglio FIS. Per noi era la prima volta in 3 mondiali che tutto il Consiglio FIS è venuto, o quasi tutto è venuto qui in Val di Fiemme. Tantissimi presidenti di federazione, quindi per noi è stato veramente un successo importante. Grazie anche a tutti voi, quindi ci tengo a ringraziare i media, le televisioni. Come ha detto il presidente Kasper, sicuramente la RAI ha fatto un lavoro straordinario che probabilmente all'inizio o alcuni mesi fa c'erano dei dubbi da parte di qualcuno, forse non da parte nostra, e di questo siamo felici che anche la nostra televisione abbia lavorato in questo modo. Quindi grazie ancora, grazie della collaborazione, grazie a tutti i media qui presenti, e Gian Franco e Sara, noi ci saremo ancora, quindi noi speriamo di far parte ancora per tanti anni di questa FIS Family che deve portare avanti anche tutti questi nostri valori della montagna e dello sci. Quindi grazie ancora.
sono stato sorpreso che il mio amico Piero non ha parlato dell'anno 2023. Perché so che le sue idee parlano già dai prossimi campionati mondiali e l'unica cosa che posso dire a nome della FIS è che saremo più che lieti se veramente andate in avanti.
È che stiamo litigando col mio presidente Melarini perché lui vuole le Olimpiadi invece. Ora dobbiamo fare pari e dispari.
I will make just a short summary of the speech of Piero Godenz. All the data will be given you by our chief of media center, Marta King. So we will not go through all the data because it will be too long. Piero was very happy now with the success of these Nordic Championships, and we hope also for the final day to have a nice day as
Lo sapremo oggi, verso le 2-3
with a great success. 10 years ago, exactly 10 years ago, we were in this room to celebrate the closing of the 2003 World Ski Championships, and since that time is running by very, very fast. We have been in this year organizing a lot of events such as to the ski Nordic Combined World Cup, ski jumping World Cup, and we look confident and we look forward to the next events. Next year will be another very, very busy and important year because, as you know, we will have not only to the ski, but we also will have the Universiade on December 2013 and the Junior World Ski Championships and Under 23 World Ski Championships the beginning of February 2014. This is for us a very important promotion, not only for the Valley, the region, but also for sports and value. We are very proud to have here in these days almost every member of the FIS Council and a lot of presidents of different federations that FIS are to be a very important part of the FIS family, and we look confident to be part of this family for a long time. We would like to thank all the media for their great job done these days, and particularly RAI. They did, as Mr. Kasper said before, an extraordinary job, even if at the beginning there were some doubts, but not from the organizing committee, but I think that RAI did really a great job, and we are very proud that our television did it and could get this success together with us. So, as far as all the data regards, Maria Facchi will provide you. I think that the most important one is the number of spectators we had during these World Ski Championships. So, without the race of today, where we expect 20-25,000 people, we had almost 350,000 spectators. And including prize giving ceremonies, we go over 400,000. So our goal was 250,000, and we have almost doubled this figure. So that's very, very important for us. The most attended race was the men relay for 10 kilometers with 36,000 spectators. Thank you from Piero de Godenz. If there is any question.
Sara, any judging test treatment?
We haven't had all the results through yet, but of course, if there were, there is a process to of course complete with the whole communication to the National Association concerned, but everything we've received so far has been negative.
Question is Kasper. Don't you think that you have to do something in the stadiums, like especially in the ski jumping in the stadium? People can't follow the competition as good anymore because of all the new rules. I think there should be new screens or something that the people can follow. It's more like a TV sport now. I mean, I can say that from my own experience, and that I'm sure there are people who understand less about ski jumping than us.
Yeah, it's difficult to answer you. I'm not happy with the situation we have at the moment, not at all. And I think the little human error we had yesterday will start the discussion in any case. And I can only tell you one thing, that at our next meeting in spring, we will seriously discuss these new jumping rules. It makes it, as you said, almost impossible for the normal spectator to follow it. It's a different story for the experts, of course, that's another thing, but I can only tell you we are not happy with that either. It's nothing to do with the screens in the stadium, it's the system as such.
Presidente Kasper, buongiorno. Vi faccio due domande sul futuro. La prima è cosa succederà dopo il 2015 con il Tour Ski. Non le chiedo dei mondiali perché lei già ha parlato in maniera molto chiara sul fatto che la Fiemme ben accetta per una nuova candidatura, e chiedo invece staffetta 4x10. In Coppa del Mondo non c'è più, in questi mondiali c'è, a Sochi ci sarà, nel 2015 a Padova cosa succede?
In principio, in principio lo sappiamo tutti che la staffetta è una delle cose più importanti anche per il pubblico. Our idea is of course to have the men's down to 7.5 kilometers, but the relay as such will continue also in the future. There is absolutely no question. It is difficult to put in the relay, the team events, into the World Cup. It's a question of time. It's also a question of having a sufficient number of nations that really can have 4 athletes in a relay. In this particular case, I have to say we have tried with Italia Uno and Italia Due and things like that. It's not the right idea, but it's, of course, it's always under discussion. What concerns the Tour de Ski, I cannot tell you what the exact calendar of Tour de Ski is, but one thing I can guarantee you, where I have something to say, the finals will and will stay forever here in Val di Fiemme. There, for me, there is no doubt.
Presidente Kasper, after the success of the mixed jump team, men and women, is the moment time to promote Olympic Games after Sochi?
Yes, you're right. It was a big success. We have already submitted the request to the International Olympic Committee. It will not be done in Sochi, that's quite clear. You know, the Olympics work a little slower, but as I said, after this success, it will be also sooner or later in the Olympic Games. I think the IOC will not oppose it because the format of the competitions is in principle up to the international federations. As you know, we have eliminated the men's small hill team competition, and we put in this event with the ladies, and I think with that we don't have an additional number of athletes or additional number of competitions, and therefore it seems to me to be a logical consequence of this World Championships here.
Other questions?
I also have to mention the conditions for working here in the sub-press centers. Do you think it is modern to have like paper tables and you have to stand with no power and you have to work standing? I think most of us are very upset about this, and I think in the future this should not be allowed. There should be like criteria for each organizer that this is never happening again. And the other thing also is that is also concerning the people, the viewers. If you have so close, if not everything's together like in Lahti, and you have like 15 minutes or so from the end of the competition to the next competition, from Lahti to Predazzo, it's impossible to be there on time. There was a big traffic jam. We could not even be there. We have to watch it on TV. And I think all those things, as you mentioned, that you have not seen any bad thing here, and I honestly have to disagree with this. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I fully understand you. I would just like to remind you of one thing. You have a so-called AIPS, the Professional Sport Journalists Federation, and we have always listened to their proposals, so please go yourself to, you're a member probably there, go to Gianni Merlo and so on. This is the right way to approach us. We as FIS, we are always, of course, it's our idea to help you wherever we can. This is quite normal, but please use this IEPS for the right channel to request new things. Know that, for instance, also Val di Fiemme, they have always followed the ideas and the proposals of the International Journalists Federation. That's all I can tell you.
Presidente Kasper, volevo chiedere se il ritorno a una 50 km interval start e alla Godenz sono due temi attuali.
Non l'ho capito.
Interval start per la 50 km, la 30 km, basically mass start. Instead of doing mass start, interval start.
We have this rotation system between the different world championships, and we will continue with the rotation also in the future. It's not every time so, it's once this, and then the next one we change it again. And also free technique and classical, as you know. But you know, there is a quite a large interest, particularly in Scandinavia, that insists that all events should, of course, be done in individual start and not in mass starts. Now, if you ask the rest of the world, United States and also Central Europe, it sounds a little different. But for the time being, we have fixed these styles and this system of starts. Yeah, I know.
Question to Gian Franco Kasper. We have ski jumping for women, we have cross country for women. How far away is Nordic combined for women?
We wait for this since many years, I tell you honestly. The problem is that at the time being, apparently, there are no activities for the ladies within the national associations or within the ski clubs, with some exceptions, of course. The FIS will react on this, and we wait for it. As soon as there is an interest from the national associations, and the national associations would like us also to include the ladies Nordic combined in the programs, but for the time being there is no such request from national associations, and you know yourself that there are not sufficient number of athletes that would be ready to participate in at the moment. We will not introduce it with 3 or 4 nations competing, because this would not be a World Championship level competition.
Una domanda per Sara Lewis sul doping. Allora, le cifre, l'aritmetica è rassicurante, ma 2 domande. Ci sono delle nuove sostanze a cui date la caccia o che vi preoccupano? Prima domanda. Seconda domanda. Sono rassicuranti anche i diagrammi del passaporto biologico?
New substances.
New substances, and if there is a development in the blood passport.
So the first question concerning whether new substances have also been analysed at the championships, and the second one concerns the development of the athlete blood passport. As far as new substances are concerned, the WADA list of prohibited substances is published on the 1st of January every year, and the anti-doping laboratory was analysing the samples, is carrying out the full battery of tests. In some events, they are specifying which substances to carry out, and for example, they don't do EPO tests because they're very expensive, whereas of course, because that is an extremely important test to carry out in endurance sports, this is part of the full testing protocol at FIS Nordic World Championships. Concerning the athlete blood passport, FIS introduced it formally, following all of the criteria that have been laid down by WADA from the 1st of January this year, but we've been carrying out testing according to the athlete passport, let's say methods, which means regular testing and observing the athletes' profiles now since 2001. But since this year, it has to be carried out under very strict criteria in terms of how often the tests are carried out and the way in which they're carried out. And this is now fully part of the FIS program.
Other questions? Okay, thank you. See you in the presentation of the last petition and that of the closing ceremony.